looking at the mic instead of the camera. I just... What is up, everybody? My name is Richard Terrell. I go by Kirby Kid, and you are watching an exit interview for my game enLIGHTen, where only masters get to be on this kind of cast. And Jess here, my one and only, has just become a master earlier in the week, and we're going to talk a little bit about her journey through the game and what we both learned about learning, both her by playing and by me by observing. But ultimately, it's just a fun little chat about the last 5 months or so, the last 6 months. But like I always do, I go to records, and you can see random things here. Full mastery, full enlightenment, and stats. So this music is a little obnoxious. We'll just do this. Boom, it's gone forever. Alright, so what I learned is that my game breaks at around 60 hours, and then the stats no longer record accurately for whatever reason. I did not know that until now. But that's okay, because you still did it.
Still did it.
You still did it. Alright. Just looking at puzzles solved, the perfect usually trails the puzzle solved. Other people, it's usually tighter because they specifically will not move on until they perfect it. But there's a little bit of a gap here, so a little bit more flexible. And blinding didn't start happening until hour 19. And then did a bunch of them. Another little set, and that's about it for the whole thing, right? Roughly blinding half of the cast. Memorizing the solutions. And then added 7 shapes, most of them towards the end, which you can't see because of the stats, the bug. But cool. Looking at the daily scores, right? You unlock daily challenge mode at around 11.5 hours. Mm-hmm. Dabbled into a few of them. Unlocked a few more, I think. That's how it works. And then soon had your whole graph going up and down like crazy.
Yeah.
But what I like about... So your favorite daily, which one?
My favorite daily was 3. 3 was my favorite. It started out being really frustrating. Just, I kept finding, it kept obviously sending me the ones I saw the least, the ones I clicked on the least. And I always thought that when I went to puzzle mode that I was clicking on those. So I was like, oh yeah, that one always gave me a hard time. That one always gave me a hard time. So I would seek them out. No, I wasn't. And I wasn't using search either. So 3 started out being really frustrating, but I ended up loving it because that one was probably the one I was most comfortable with, I think. Towards the like when I started the rest of them, I was like, oh, but I really like playing 3. Yep. Back to 3. And 3 kept pushing me to like play with the puzzles that I knew that I clicked on the least. But after a while, they all started blending in together because I actually started playing them all. Yeah.
As 3, the more puzzles you unlock, like if you unlock daily 3 early, you'll only have so many puzzles to draw from. So a lot of people's scores can be really high, and then they get upset when it goes down. But that's the sole design for 3 is to be like, you know, as you take on more information, it's going to get harder, but then you can go back up, and it's going to get harder, and you can go back up and then stay up. So that's largely, you can see a little bit of wave action going on there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, all the stats, dancing around, all of them increased right about hour 33, then dancing around, red having some hit or miss.
Yeah, I struggled with 2 and 5 the most. Mm-hmm. And they flip-flop. So there would be days where I'd be like, yay, 5, and then 2 stayed the same. Mm-hmm. And then there's like those giant drops on 37 when the red got really hard again. And then got worse.
So I'll do this real quick. Boop, boop. Cool. Now they can see.
Okay.
See the word daily. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Very good. So dailies doing exactly what they're designed to do. Just giving people a chance to measure up is usually brings a lot of structure in the late game when people are playing enLIGHTen, because people solving the puzzle mode and trying to get as many as they can, that's one thing. Some people try to blind everything and get everything looking red. Some people not so much, but you did do everything and you got a perfect on everything. But other people, when they get to dailies, they really see how they can improve, and they're all designed to test a different part of your mastery, a different part of your skills, and that's why different people love certain ones, different people hate certain ones. That's just kind of by design. Yeah, an explosion of activity here. Questions answered. Steady increase with the quizzes. So you'd often go back to quizzes and then be like, oh, there's a bunch of quiz questions, and then like shoot up. That's usually very few people kept going back in like immediately when they unlocked it. And then you listen to Gritchard throughout the lectures and these little spurts. Your notes just got to basically 100 at hour 9, it looks like.
Yeah, I wrote a lot of notes in the beginning. When most of my beginner notes were like, I don't know what this is. I keep getting stuck here. I don't know why this keeps popping up.
Nice. Rename 93, I don't even know. Maybe it counted each of those times we tried to glitch it or whatever.
Yeah, it might be why.
So like, yeah. But yeah, you did rename a lot more than most people. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And stumped responses. These are the notes that you take when you are forced to review your work and look at everything. So that's just a nice 45-degree angle there.
Oh, it's the stump responses?
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. So then I think for stump responses, I started out just saying that I was really frustrated.
Yeah.
Talking about how frustrated I was. But then it helped when I started using tags to come back to later.
Oh yeah, we'll take a look at those. Let's see. Your dot spread for your notes, there's more than this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. It's only fixed 101 because I forgot to cap it at the correct place. But yeah, you have a ton of notes. I like the little symbols. You can easily see how many tips you have, how many methods, how many shapes that you noted.
I used shapes and tips simultaneously for the same thing sometimes.
Yeah.
But for tips, I was just like, okay, well, I definitely need to try this again, this method. So I kept putting those in, and then shapes was just like, still not sure what this is or what it's connected to. Let's find out later. So
yeah. Towards the late game, you can see here you have a lot more questions, right? You're thinking about how things work daily, waffle fry, daily. At first I was afraid, daily, blah blah. So like the questions start concentrating the later you get. Let's see if I can demonstrate that. So like let's see what happened when your mastery was just 50 to 100. Now go back and 4. Hopefully these are them. These look like all questions. Oh wait, because I'm on all questions. Oh, that's interesting. So it does filter what you have up.
okay.
Hey, I didn't know that. So let's think. So now we'll look at questions on the first. No, I don't know what I'm doing.
50 to 100. Can you move the bar?
Are these so these are still the latest questions?
Yeah, that's still later. I didn't start using daily tags until later.
Let's try hours. See, I want all these to be disappeared. So I'll just do this. Yep. There we go, like that, and then I'll do that, that. Let's see if we got a different spread now. Questions. Cool. So by checking hours 2 through 26, we get the questions and see like in the early part of your game, you didn't almost have any questions. You was like, sure, like click the thingy, do the thingy. I'll get us out of the way too. Like, there we go. You can barely see any questions, right? But then obviously from hour 27 through 49, we'll say. tons of questions, and I'll get it off questions so it makes a little more sense. Right? A larger distribution, a larger concentration, like that says something in itself. Part of what we learn in the lectures is that I've never used this mode like this mode. I didn't even know it did that. I was like, dot spread. Wow. Notes. But yeah, the whole funnel of the game, the shape is a triangle, and you're supposed to gather your curiosity here on the left side of the triangle. Then you're supposed to apply it to these. So puzzle mode or daily will give you a play. Oh my goodness! It will give you a chance to apply the information, and then you're supposed to think about it, right? So like, you have to go through this step, my thoughts, and that's where you have your notes. And even though a lot of people didn't go into notes to review notes, right? Because I made it super convenient to like just be in puzzle mode, click on one, and you see all the notes just right here on the side. You can quickly review the relevant notes. That was pretty fun when I did that. I was like, no one's gonna use notes anymore. Right here, and you just quickly check the answer, quickly check what other people said, blah blah blah. But you're supposed to go here, and you can really apply all these filters. But then I made it to where you could also do it in puzzle mode. Nobody does this because it only applies to like the 3 that pop up. So why would you need a filter? But theoretically, if you had a bunch of notes for no reason. But yeah, this is where this comes in handy, and really let's see how you thought when you were pre-mastery. That's what I love about this. It auto updates. And you grab some notes from Tony. You have some notes here. So some of the stuff you said was like solve symmetrically, then solve for ready, set, go. Let's just do it when your mastery was way lower. You took this note from Crystal. It's nice, a crystal green. I like that. Start at the base of the pickaxe, right? That's a good note, actually. Sideways and down. Ew, that's a classic. I remember watching you make this one. Sideways and down.
And I didn't know that things are going to rotate on me later.
Yeah, puzzles can appear in any rotation, which we can just see, explore and rotate. Like, what if it's this way? Sideways and down doesn't work. If it's this way, it'll work. If it's this way, it won't work. So it's just really funny, the fact that people's notes... Oop, I need to make sure I don't drag it to the very end for whatever reason. Cross-shaped brooch. All these different ways they used to think pretty flower would like nice with a fancy brooch. Me too.
It would look nice. So then I would click the center and I would start me with 4 dice.
Explore mode.
It's not gonna make sense to anyone else that sees that.
Boo! Spider bite before you knew. And then you learned spider bite. Spider bit me through my t-shirt.
Yeah, but that didn't help me.
Okay.
Until later. I have so many epiphanies with spider bite.
Let's take a look at your look. So let's clear this. Spider. Hit enter. So all your spider notes, which we can probably do this. Yeah. Hey, it's working. Dots for I didn't even anyway. Tiny dog horse.
I don't know.
You discovered this while solving for spider bite.
I did.
Yeah.
I should put that in as a shape.
That's why it is caught it. Interesting pattern. Spider bite. It knew. Boo! Spider bite. And spider bit me through my t-shirt. So
that was my first solution. No, my first solution for spider bite.
Nice. And then here's your next one. Nothing to say. Then wash the bite. Bring it in, butterfly. And then diagonal solve for spider bite on its side. And you put hashtag diagonal. Cut the bite across and push it into the corner. Okay. Across is an important word there. I tried solving for crossword, and this is just how spider bite played into a lot of your other strategies. Yeah. So you can really see.
I started seeing it in more places.
And then you had to slice through it again. You have to remind yourself again to slice through it. Daily 5, daily 4. Always solve in the direction of the bite. That's still there. Okay.
The bite that's still there.
And then tip from Rich, you can slash both bites. Much easier to remember.
Yeah. That's when I actually remembered it was slashing both of them. Then I was like, okay, I'm not going to forget it now. And I didn't forget it after that.
Nice.
But the t-shirt didn't work. None of the other ones were working so far.
What I like about this note is solved blind my old way, then tried a new way. Like
it's blank because I didn't click the thing.
But it's cool because when you start recognizing that you are learning and that learning it comes from tips and specific thoughts, and then you can be like, I thought this then, I think this now, and you can kind of trace your own history. That's all about Spider Bite. That's cool. So yeah, a bunch of notes. I like reading notes like hate. No, you don't hate anything. Stupid. No, you don't get angry in your notes apparently. A lot of times I say I'm dumb because it's Tony, because I think it's funny, or do I really think I'm dumb? I wonder if I'm just setting my own banana peel to fall on with that mindset.
Did I save that note?
It's Tony's. I think I told you to save it because I'm like, look, everyone else is feeling bad about themselves.
I understand, Tony.
Symmetrical solution or dumbbell. Okay, so you're just nice to yourself. It's weird.
It's weird.
You're nice to yourself in typing, but not
out loud.
It's weird.
Out loud, I was a different story.
So the whole thing funnels to the right, and at the very end, which is the mode that most people don't spend a lot of time in, but it's the smallest, right? This is the mode that's the most important because it's the goal of doing all this learning, but it's also the mode that's the smallest, and there's only a few things you can do here. You can define your hashtags, which the dark ones are defined, which is great. Which is great. Galaga. The dope game Galaga. So. And then Venn sorter here. We're just supposed to take your groups and figure out which one, how they interact, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, nice. These ones are center focused.
Yes, center focus and symmetrical solutions.
So far symmetrical. Ooh, you have two.
Yeah, it's a little unorganized.
Yeah, at this point I'm like, people are like, I want to delete hashtags. I'm like,
no.
Too bad.
So many duplicates in there.
Too bad. Hey, there's one magic shape that also is center focused, apparently. But yeah, this is just supposed to be where you take all those observations, you transfer them all into groups with the hashtags. You try to get as many in the group as possible, and then here's when you start to draw insights on a larger level. Like if you found out that all symmetrical solution shapes were also 100% always Galagas or whatever, you'd be like, what is it about Galaga that also always makes it symmetrical? That's not what happened, but
yeah.
And this was a defunct feature.
Method maker.
Also, like, you know, from some of the software and tools I'm developing now, you can see like the same exact tools. I like big infinite canvases of paper and dynamic dots. But anyway, you're supposed to develop your keying insights there and then run it through the process all again. So you've been doing a great job. Let's look at your tool usage. And let's get us back on the screen. Yeah. They can't read it. Fine. Overwatch is 7. Nobody should use that one.
Nobody should?
I mean, I redesigned it and then I broke it, but essentially Overwatch is supposed to be like whatever Richard thinks pops up here.
Oh.
And then you can kind of like, ooh, are you faster, are you slower, are you slowed down, why? He may not say it, but you can see what he's thinking. And if you have a lot of lights like this, that's a lot of lights. You're like, this is a lot of lights. It's supposed to encourage you to like count things if you talk to you, but I just threw it up there. Speed bonus. So one is like it's flat speed rate, and the other one's how quickly you increase.
Okay.
So like if you get both speed bonus and sonic speed, you're really fast. Like sonic speed. There it is. You slow down. Why? Like it knew immediately. Like,
yeah.
So that's nobody cares about that. So relevant notes, you use that like crazy. A lot of people's click keepers are way higher than their relevant notes, but you from near the beginning kind of kept them pretty close, which is pretty cool.
I was sticking to notes, just notes. Then I started using click keeper, and then you were like, you should try the other tools, and I just stuck to notes and click keeper.
Yeah. I think hidden shapes is that next most important one.
Yeah, I didn't click it a lot. Like I definitely understand why it's more helpful, but I started finding the shapes
yourself?
On my own,
Yeah.
But I realized that James was there to help me the whole time.
And then flow history, nobody does this one either. Well, kind of like what you said when you're like, I solved it the old way, then I solved it the new way. This was supposed to help you remember your patterns and give you a distribution of how often you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So here, if you go into Little Bamboo 20% of the time, you can maybe go for it this time instead of worm like you always do. And you're like, okay, Little Bamboo.
Yeah,
like,
and
cool.
I can see that helping me like solve a daily if I had known that like Little Bamboo was an option. I'd be like, that might help me, turn it into something.
Yeah, you can imagine I could make another daily 3 where instead of just your weak shapes, it could be the weak way that you solve shapes.
Yeah,
so like, don't do it like this. You're like,
find a new way to solve it.
Yeah,
almost, but like it ends up being the same clicks. But but then you also showed me what was it? There's also you told me that there were puzzles that some puzzles had other solutions. But I was like, I don't believe that.
Didn't we find one that one day?
And then we found one, yeah. And I found one. I was like, oh, this one.
Do you remember which one that was?
No.
Well, let's just try multiple. I was looking for crosses and tried solving in circular motion from try multiple times to find a pattern. Oh, it was either normalize. So we can just do this.
It was one with a lot more.
So we can do this.
It might have been normalized.
Check this out. We clear the search. We're looking for notes, and I think that we're looking for notes that you have solutions. And we can go to the dot spread and peruse any 2 that kind of look the same. Not the easiest. And this is bad UI. I thought it was connected to. It was like little corner box, or it was like.
I don't think it was any of the boxes, but it was one that was like 12, and you could solve it with like 8.
I know. I know. I found it. So this is a feature nobody uses either. You filter.
I found it in. It's in here. It's in.
Well, you go by notes assigned. And you're like, I only want to see things that have 4 to 6 notes, or maybe even the highest, right? So maybe it was.
Was it sprinkle? Sprinkle salt? Was it that one?
This one has new shape solving pinwheel, 2 stairs checked, wedding reception. Why, hello there, Hacha-cha. Reduce my click speed, but not perfect. Try eliminating 4 stocks. And you find defibulate. Make a T-click. And then you're like, I have to solve the whole numbers. So finish the step before going to the next. And then you said 2 T's and then yank the pearls. Yeah, it was this. Parameterize the curve. Sounds like a Marcus note.
I think that was.
That is a Marcus says parameterize all the time.
I've never used that word in my life.
Okay, so we found the one that had the most dialogue around it by using the filter.
Okay.
And that's why I built it.
It was sprinkle salt. Yep. I was like solving it by stacking chairs for the long. Like almost 25. It was so many.
Parameterize the curve. That's Marcus's color. And then you can see here, like you got a little. Whoever did this one. Let's see where
it was. Pink. That was
fire cakes.
Okay.
So
that's how I solved that one better because fire cakes helped me with that one. So thank you, fire cakes.
Yeah. So notice how breaking out of your own head and going to the social features helped you see something you never would have.
Yeah. Because
everyone's going to get more comfortable doing it one way versus another. So like the easiest way to get out of your head is just to steal somebody else's head. That's all there is to it. Very nice. Daily. Look at all this UI. I had to make this from scratch. I'm so angry. So total grid solved 1,000. Redundant clicks 2,000. Deja vu 1.5 thousand. 1.5K. Total Overwatch positive, negative. So even though the system, the Overwatch here is broken, it was supposed to be like whenever you do good things like taking notes, taking your time, and not making redundant clicks, it gives you some like good job. You're learning in the right pace. And whenever you're like it gives you some negatives. So in general, almost every player's negatives is more negative than positive here. Almost every player. But then in enLIGHTen Gold, it like flops, which is pretty cool. People are like, no, I know what to do this time. I'm like, well, that's pretty impressive. But yeah, you can see that your enlightenment and your mastery work together, but then your mastery stopped. Mastery's pink, by the way.
Okay.
Your mastery stopped climbing as quickly, and then you flatlined for a while.
I think that was probably, is that my guess, is that when I was in puzzle mode?
So let's
For,
take
like,
let's take a look.
longest.
Hours 22 to 32. This is why I like this graph so much. Hours in puzzle mode 22 to 32 increased. Yep. And all the other modes didn't increase except for daily. So you started to creep in the daily
Started
too.
dailies.
Yeah, so the daily was really low before that. So yeah, you were just kind of exploring the modes. And you can also see here, anything else go up? Your usage of probably hidden shapes? No, that's my hidden no. Wait. Yeah, it's your hidden shapes. From hours 22 to 32, it looked like you were just going at it. Questions answered. The only thing that changed was whatever that one is, because I made them all blue because I'm so smart. You renamed some shapes in that time. And you 22 to 30. Yeah, this is when you hit a bunch of dailies. You're like, la, 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 la. So yeah,
that's when 3 was kicking my butt.
Yeah, and you can see the puzzle
Like,
mode. Even though you spent a lot of time in puzzle mode, you were done solving puzzles for a while.
Yeah, I was still
Perfecting some?
I was still perfecting them, and I was using puzzle mode as my notes and as explore mode.
Yeah.
And I realized I was like, oh, I should probably move to explore mode.
Yeah, I try to, even though I can't force people to be in there when they're freely exploring, like I try to make the tools more accessible. Wait, what do I have on? Do I have a Smash stream on? Well, hopefully YouTube won't hear that deep in the background and flag my videos. Garbage. So yeah, great job here at the end. This little push and push. So notice that your mastery, initially it's all just initial stuff anyway. But once you get here, you flatline. Then you have these significant breakthroughs. You flatline, and then you push hard, and then you flatline, and you push hard. So whatever's happening in these flat lines is kind of important to pay attention to. 39 through 43. Nothing here, because whatever. 39 through 43, a little bit of puzzle mode. A lot more of the other modes slowly creeping up, I guess. Or everything being done a little bit. Hidden shapes again? Yeah, hidden shapes. It seems to be the thing that saved you.
Yeah.
So you used hidden shapes, and then you got the benefit from it. 39 through 43, you used it, and then your mastery climbed from 43 up, if I remember correctly. Mastery, yeah. So that kind of shows you that you had to do a thing for 4 or 5 hours, just to reap the benefits of that session, and not happen over multiple days. This is the 24th of this is the 24th, 21st, 16th. You took a break there. 13th, 11th, 10th, 8th. So like half a month, right?
Yeah, that was all last month.
So sometimes you're like, I'm not improving. I'm not whatever. I'm like, I mean, it takes time, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
No matter how you slice it. This feature, I love it. I've never used this until just now to get people to check out their stats, but this is cool. I wanted to also have a view where you stretch according to a calendar. So it's like, yeah, the graph looks like this, but how much time did it take? Yeah. Or some people are like, some people are different. That's okay. But yeah, that's your overall journey. It was really fun watching it. Everybody's different. Everybody's got strengths and weaknesses. Knowing that you do so much with art, but also talking about how you use language, how you take notes, what kind of things that bother you about your learning process, and what kind of things that don't bother you, and things like that. Yeah, I've always wanted enLIGHTen to be a kind of game that just holds up a big old mirror and just lets multiple people see each other, right? And there's no other way I could think of than creating the friend feature and all that, because I don't know how nobody would pay attention or care otherwise. Like, you have to trap them in a scenario. But it was great that you set a goal for yourself. You're like, I'm going to reach mastery. I'm just like, do it. Like, it's going to be tough. Everyone. It was tough. People have to put their, grind out a few things, study hard, and do their best to do best practices, but everyone has to do something. But yeah, it's going to go to show you too. What I also love is like your story now is not only a way to better understand yourself as a learner, but you can definitely help somebody else. Like your story, you can tell them with precise detail, like don't feel bad about even working 5 hours and not seeing improvement. Don't worry about this. Just take the notes. They're funny later. Trust me. You'll laugh at yourself. Like, don't worry. You can just explain it all, right? Look at all his notes.
And like how I would jump into dailies 3 and 1, and I was like, yeah, I'm killing it. And then I come in the next day and bomb them, and I'm like, why?
Yeah. And I was like, don't worry. Some days are bad days.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah, that idea, that illusion that all your progress is always just like a steady climb up.
Yep.
Just like I'm adding to my knowledge. I'm adding to it. Like that's not how it works. So, what I love about Daily 1 is it's the only one that's like completely fair for everybody. It's always random, and you can tackle it at any time, whether you're like really familiar with the shape names or not. So I look at Daily 1 just to see how people take to the game.
Daily 1, yeah. Daily 1, I was up and down. Is it that one? Wait, is it the green or is it the
dark green?
Dark green? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like.
Cool. But yeah, and another thing that I thought was interesting, like so many other masters, well, two things. One, after you beat the game, you're like, no, I want to do this. Like, I want to like go back in and do this or do this differently because I have my mindset on it. I'm like, yep, that's what's really, hopefully the goal of better teaching for everything else we plan to do with design oriented. If we give people the tools, we show them how to avoid frustrations, they should enjoy learning because learning is amazing, right? It changes the way you think, it changes the way you feel, it changes what you can do. That's superpowers. There's no other way to describe that. But that other thing was, as you were approaching mastery, you were like, this can't be it. You're like, I'm not perfect yet. I'm like, you're getting a 90, like, calm down. And then you're like, no, it's got to be harder. I'm like, harder why? I'm like, harder what? This is already hard enough.
I just assumed it would be fighting Sephiroth.
Yeah. Somebody else said something like that too. Like, I thought like the final challenges would be these incredible hard thing. I'm like, no.
Like you have to solve all the puzzles randomly.
Yeah.
In like a pot in 12 seconds.
You definitely can. And one thing we talked about last time was you can play the dailies blind.
Yeah.
And even though it seems like it's incredibly difficult, like
I was able to do a couple. I was like, oh, I didn't think I could do that.
Yeah, like it's in here, right?
Yeah.
When I saw Tetris Masters, there's a version of Tetris where they try to test if you're a grandmaster, and that's what really that basic structure inspired the mastery mode in enLIGHTen. But to do so, not only do you have to like play fast Tetris, but at the end they have credits. I wonder if I can show you. It's like YouTube Tetris Grandmaster Test credits. Let's hit that. Yeah, here it is. So this is Awesome Games Done Quick. Hold on, let me see if this has it.
It's not moving.
Whatever. Hopefully no one sues me. Get out of here. I kept this out of your way. Get out of here. Golly. So this is apparently people trying to do it. So like, look at it. Hard Tetris. So like, I'll do the sound effects. Okay, then it gets harder and harder. And he's playing on a... Oh yeah, the fact that the graphics are 3D is so funny. You're like, why? He's like, because it's on PlayStation and PlayStation's a 3D game. Where is it? So he tried again. Maybe he didn't make it. Maybe he did. What the heck is he doing?
That's so weird. That one was just all black cubes.
I'm trying to find the exact thing. So it looks like he's showing off different modes where you can be cool. Because that's what Tetris is. But maybe it's right here. Don't disappoint me! Is this it? Yes. Okay. So.
What?
So, you're playing the game, right? And you have to do it fast enough or good enough or whatever. Boom, he did it, and now is the true challenge. Right? You're playing completely blind for what you've done. And I was like, this is crazy! And I was like, wait a minute. I mean, they were doing this. They weren't even looking at their PAL half the time anyway, so like it's an extension of that skill.
Right.
So from the beginning, I'm like, enLIGHTen, I'm going to put a blind mode in. So everyone from the beginning is just slowly training this mastery level skill. And then, people can play the daily challenges now and test it, but you can do better than you think. I went through all of them, and I got A's on all of them except for one, and I got like a 50 or 60. I'm like, after I get to that like 5 click point, I'm just like, okay, I need to slow down a lot more to get it. But I realized like it's all up here. You just plan and you're like, and go. La, 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 la. So that's what this inspired it. I was covering up most of the time. Bad manners, Richard. Bad manners. I'll just quickly zoom back to show what he's doing. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, that's been enLIGHTen. It's a game. It's interesting that one thing you say, you're like, oh, you thought it was just going to be like one game that I had and, you'd be playing other games by now, but it's like, oh, this is like my life's work. It's my masterpiece, my magnum opus. I'm like, yay. But basically, yeah, I've been working on this game forever, and this is just a really interesting stepping stone. So we will be doing lots of drawing and art. We're going through Drawbox. Mm-hmm. And after learning about how we learn here, we're just keeping the process going, just keeping an open mind, taking notes, and talking things through. And it's been a ton of fun. So
yeah,
you'll see all of our progress on Instagram or something eventually. But until next time, guys, this has been Richard.
And Jess.
And we're signing out and getting married.